What up, world? My name is Timothy De Jesus.
Hi everyone, Aldrich here.
Hello folks, it's Kevin Kwok here.
Hi, this is Jeremy C. I just wanted to say this about bottoms-up perspectives. It's about real lives, real journeys, and real perspectives.
The whole idea behind bottoms-up perspective was from the word kampai, or in Asian culture, oftentimes we drink until the bottom of our cup is empty and we turn it over. So it's very much like just cheers, right? And building relationship. And that's what we're all about, is building authentic, solid relationships on a global level and being able to see things from a global perspective.
And no, we're not Alcoholics Anonymous.
We are here to be the voice of everyone.
I love the idea that we're real people and we get to share our experiences with real people just like you.
So we look forward to having you join us. What's going on, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and everyone that's online? I think Eldrick shared it on Twitter as well. So we're everywhere, and we want to just thank you for our sponsor, StreamYard, for allowing us to utilize their tools and be able to go live. So if you guys want to start your life journey, be sure to check out the link that we'll share later on the show. And you can go live as well with StreamYard, just one click away. So what's really cool is this is episode 29. And we go talk numbers. And if people don't know, I'm the founder of J29 Creative, and just happens we talk number on episode 29. So I'm pretty excited about it. So why don't we have Jacqueline? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the audience about what you do?
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Jacqueline. I'm in morning here for Singapore time. We are at about 9 a.m. here. So I have been really active on LinkedIn, and what I do is that I'm a numeric profiler. So this is the tool I use is called Numerology, where I actually understand you through numbers such as your date of birth as well as from your name.
Awesome. So tell us a little about so numerology, right?
Yes.
So it's the kind of the study of numbers. So how did you get into the whole numerology? How you got started?
Okay. What happened was, to cut the long story short, I was in a very bad shape. I was in a Lao cycle. So one day my mom came and she showed me an article. She said, "Hey, read this." I was like, "What? What is numerology? I fail my math, so I can't even do simple calculation, you know." So she said, "Okay, it's up to you if you are interested. So just go for it." So the curiosity in me decided to read up, and so I attended some talks and to find out more. But guess what? That really intrigues me. So the curiosity in me gets better. So I started to read up and I started to understand why people behave the way they behave. And since I was in a Lao cycle and everything within me was so dark, I was in a depression at that time. So to say that numerology helps me to get out of my depression, yes, I have that. And by understanding at that point of time, things have been so bad. It's like, why me? Now I look back, I say, why not me? And it's because I embark on this journey, then I realize that there is more to things on the surface. So I become less judgmental and become less mindful, and I appreciate people who they are until they have proven otherwise. So therefore, and this is actually, I realize it's a very good life skills, which I hope to share with the audiences. Before you judge a person, understand why the person behave the way they behave. It's not just about behaviors anymore. It's about their thought processes and how do you manage them.
That's awesome.
Well said.
So I guess my first question for the day, right? So numbers play a big part in our everyday.
Exactly.
No matter if it's your birthday, the number you see in sports, or even the numbers in your business, right? The numbers in our bank account. we look at those numbers every day. So, what significance does numbers play in your life? So, whoever wants to start first, we'll go.
I guess it's me, right? So it's me first.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin. First thing. First thing first, like Kevin, you mentioned what J29. So does J stand for Jacqueline?
That's good.
Jacqueline
29.
Jacqueline on episode 29. Yeah. Okay. So to answer the question, what significance does number play in my in my life? I think very little. I mentioned that I'm really bad numbers. There's only a few numbers I can probably remember, and I probably count it with my fingers, right? If you talk about phone numbers, I probably need to remember like 3 or 4 or 5 numbers from memory, like my wife's number, my parents' number, there's 2 of them. No, I don't even remember my mom's number. I remember my dad's number. I remember my parents' place number, my home number. I think that's pretty much it in terms of phone number, right? And the other numbers will be like bank account password, the number to my keypad for my lock to my door. I just changed that because I snapped off the handle, the last one. That's pretty much it. Like 5, 6 numbers in my life. That's all I know. I'm so bad that I don't even remember like my take-home pay. I just roughly know it's probably that number, but I don't know the exact numbers, right? So that's how bad I am with numbers. Really, really, really terrible. I don't even know what else to say because I just am very bad with numbers. To be honest.
Trust me, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not.
It's not for everybody.
No, it's true. The funny thing is, we all have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, but it's not everybody is good with numbers nor wants to be, and that's okay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, for me, the significance of numbers, I would say, is I guess I can attribute a lot of my whatever you call success to numbers, and the reason I say that is, having done finance at dealerships, I got really good at the math behind loan to values and payment to income and debt to income and things that affect loans for people. And because I got good at those things, and I was significantly better than my peers at getting loans approved from banks because I knew the structures and how to get a bank to say yes to a loan that they may not have normally said yes to, then that established me as a difference maker in the industry. So I can attribute a lot of my success to numbers because had I not really paid attention to that and just been your average car guy, then I wouldn't have had kind of the career arc that I did. So that's how I can attribute numbers to.
Wow, that's well done.
Tim, I disagree. I think you have an honest looking face. That's why they approved the loan.
I've been told that often.
It's true. I see your face. I trust it. Really.
You better sell something to Jeremy.
Jeremy, you don't get a bank loan endorsed because of the face. Unfortunately.
I think between my face and Tim's face, he's gonna get all the loans, not me.
I don't know, man. I would definitely trust you before I trust me.
We should let the audience decide. Give us a thumbs up if you guys think Tim's more trustworthy than Jeremy.
I mean, just a comment on that.
Oh man.
Funny.
That's funny. What about you, Eldrick?
Who's next? Yeah.
Hang on. Let me just type the questions on the comment. I think that's really funny, Yeah. For me, numbers is I read it as a different language. So there's the languages based on words, and then there's mathematics as a language. Music in itself is another language, right? So I think when I was very, very early on, I struggled with numbers too. And my parents were actually very worried that I might not survive the primary school leaving examinations because I wasn't. My performance in mathematics then was very volatile, like the stock market now, like very volatile. The only thing that saved me was the questions that has a dollar sign in front of it. Oh, that and it so happened that year, my prayers were answered. Vast majority of the last, I think it was the last 5 questions. Those are the tougher questions. They hold more weightage. I think about 4 out of 5 has to do with a dollar sign. I was like, oh, okay. I remember when I got my result slip and I had an A for my mathematics. I was like, huh? What happened? That can't be. But anyway, if that's the case, that's the case. That's my brush with numbers when I was very early on. And then I'm always sensitive about my pocket money. Way before I was very sensitive to the debt to income ratios, the cash flows, the points that Tim just mentioned. I think it's just in me, as in the interest is there. I might not have the numeric accuracy behind it, but it got polished along the way. So I find it fun. It's a language that I can resonate with.
Good stuff. What about Jacqueline?
I'm here.
So, what significance does numbers play in your life?
Okay, that's a good question. Number one, I think ever since I embarked on the journey of numerology, the connections that I have and in terms of friends has grown tremendously. People like, the common friends that Jeremy mentioned earlier on reading, right? And as well as people like Eldrick. You see, the funny thing is that people always think that I'm a fortune teller. I'm not a fortune teller. And you see, the thing is that is in Singapore term, the lottery we hear is called the Singapore pool, and they always ask me, so give me the 4 numbers, give me the 4 numbers,
6 numbers.
Yeah, so that I can, I was just giving a tips to a friend of mine. I say, hey, look, why don't you try your luck? And guess what? 1 week later, he called me, say, hey, Jack, come, let's go for dinner. I say, what happened? Because you asked me to try my luck, and I strike, and I won $2,000. I said, oh, that's good for you. Yeah, he won $2,000 and he buy me a real good dinner. And guess what? After dinner, he said, why don't I bring you to the casino? I said, why do you want to bring me to the casino? I said, no, I'll pay for you the $100 entrance fee, and then you tell me the numbers to buy, and I'll strike.
To buy, oh my God.
Yeah, I said, sorry. I don't advocate gaming. I just wanted, I mean, it's just some fun, right? That you want, because it so happened that it happens to be that you have it at that point of time. I'm just sharing what I know from what I can read from you. So, and he was really very happy, and he swear by it, and he wants to see me every year. I said, what's that to see me every year? There's no need to. Just make sure you do the right thing. That's fine. You see, I was telling Eldrick, beginning of this year, I was sharing this topic about the outlook for 2020, of which, right, I was just sharing, and about three or 4 points out of the 5 points that I shared came true for Singapore context. So,
Wow.
yes, and well, okay, coming back to that and how it plays in, because I think it embarked me on this journey to help more people, to impact more people, and most important thing is that you should not be scared or fear, because this is actually a knowledge. If you know what is insights and what does it represent, it actually empower you to do a lot more, rather than limiting fears and that you can't move forward.
That's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
How about
for
you, Kevin?
me, I guess numbers are pretty significant for me. So I think numbers play a big part in religion. It plays a big part in, like I said, sports, school. So back in high school, I wasn't really into numbers, into like math. I was never, for an Asian, being in the U.S., they just expect you to be good at math. And I was the unfortunate one, right? I was the Asian looking guy that wasn't good at math. So, but when I first went into college, I decided I wanted to be a pediatrician. So I wanted to be a doctor. So I went. So I was really good with sciences back in high school. But when I got into pre-med school, I didn't know chemistry, at an advanced level in physics, and also it requires you to take calculus. So it's all numbers.
Wow.
It's all math.
So I'm out.
So that changed my career really quick, and that's how I became a computer science major. So I got into becoming a software engineer. But at the same time, now looking back, I have taken more math classes than regular people because I took pre-calculus at least twice because I can't pass it.
It's okay, it's okay.
So at least
I think in real life, unless you're in science or engineering, you don't really need to do differentiation or integration that much. It's all right.
Oh my
If
God.
you go out there to buy a pound of meat, you don't need to do a differentiation. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I got to calculus, and it was an accomplishment, and I was like, okay, enough of pre-med school, and that's when the whole internet bubble was blowing up, and I was like, why don't I create software inside the hospital? And I was like, and then I start hearing like doctors don't really make that much because of all the liability and paying back for the school and stuff. So now I look back, it's not too bad. And then now I want to bring up the significance of J29, right? Why we name our company J29 Creative Group. So it's a Bible verse that always been a part of me ever since I graduated high school. And then from high school all the way to college, it's always been a part of my life. And it represents the Bible verse, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope in the future. And even when I married Jennifer, it was real significant. And when I met her, she kind of had that Bible verse in her mind as well. So it's kind of interesting.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so it's always been a part of us. And then we decided when we started the company, it was so significant that we named it after it. So, yeah. So numbers play a big part in my life. So, yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just add on to what I said earlier?
Yeah.
Now that thanks to Audric mentioning integration and differentiation, the biggest significance in maths and numbers they have to me is in nightmares. Till this day, when I get nightmare, I dream that I'm going for my what you call that? We call it college maths or further maths. There's two different maths levels in junior college here, and I still get the dream that I have to retake it, or I haven't studied and I have to go and take it. So that's kind of the scar that I have from numbers from young. No joke.
Yeah, that's crazy. So,
Yeah.
are you so with Asia, right? Singapore is also what is British system, right?
Yep.
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 So your
Correct.
math
Correct.
in high school is probably our math in college.
Mm.
I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yes, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Because
so you. Mhm.
yeah, my niece is in the US right now. I think she's in grade 9. So she's in junior high school. She's only 1 year older than my son. But what my son is doing right now, which is in the secondary 3, I think is your grade 10 or grade 11. That's really a big significant. Yeah. So I always tell, being the Asian mom, the tiger mom, to support my sister. So I say, take the textbook here in Singapore, and I'll send it to her in the US for my niece. So my
For
niece
practice.
so my niece taught her class for algebra, and she taught her class for
Wow.
math. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I she's also my sister being an Asian, right? So she said, okay, can you just send all the Singapore textbook to me? So I just I buy it here and I send it over to her, for my niece, so that she can practice. That's why she taught the class. And I think that is good because so that she can keep in pace of what she's doing. Yeah. And I told my sister to make her learn Mandarin because I think it's really important. Yeah. Because I know in America, you guys, the next language is on Spanish, But I
Yep.
say, yeah, but I say Spanish might be just useful in America, but the world you need Mandarin because the Chinese are growing as well as in English. So I told her, so whenever my niece is back in Singapore, I will make an effort to speak to her in Mandarin, even though she can't really answer that. And you know, like she likes the bao, you know, in Chinese. I think Kevin, you might know, you know, that in the Cantonese, the dim sum, the bao. She
Yep.
likes that, right? Because she will tell my mother, Papa, I want to eat the bao. So because she likes that bun, right? She's like the char siu bao, you
Char
know.
siu bao, yeah.
Yes, char siu bao. So she likes that, but she didn't know how to say char siu, which is actually the pork meat inside, either the pork filling.
Yep.
So she didn't know how to
Yep.
say that. So she would just tell my mom, Papa, I want to eat the bao, you know, things like that.
Since we are on this topic, and I think that it's a common history that Singaporeans can all share, and it ties in with a number. When Singaporeans study for our major examinations, so we follow the British system. We have O levels, and then the A levels.
A level.
A levels. When you clear that, you get into college. I think years ago in US, you guys are still SAT centric, but I think that changed. So I don't know what's the system now.
It's
But,
still SAT centric.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
So,
ACT and SAT.
So when we study for our O levels and A levels, okay. So now
Wait a minute, Eldrick. Let me correct that. Used to is ACT, SAT centric. Now it's TikTok centric.
Okay. So tying it with the topic for today, our assessment books that we do on top of homework, we call it 10-year series. 10-year series. So there was I guess there's a genius many years ago who thought that we should start practicing exam papers. So they started compiling the past 10 years of examination papers, and they print it into the book, and they sew it like hotcakes.
Sell it.
Yeah.
Every parent loves it. My mom loves it. It's on my desk, the kitchen table, in a toilet, beside the toilet seat. You know, and wherever I go, there's a 10-year series, man. It's a 10-year series of history, maths, physics, even English.
Yeah.
Even English, I'm saying a lot.
Yeah. We do. Yeah, it's pretty stressful for the kids here, actually. Yeah. 10-year series is a must for every parent. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and in when we do our O levels, that's like in secondary school. There's two kind of maths, right? There's E maths, which is called elementary maths, and A maths.
And A maths. Additional maths.
Yeah, I'm not exactly bad at maths totally. I'm not a complete failure. I used to get A for my I used to get A for my elementary maths, but for additional maths, it's always an F. Always. I don't know why.
Oh, by the way, just for our American audience, in our middle school, we take 2 levels of mathematics. One is elementary, which is the normal one. And then we take additional mathematics, which is actually a fake name. It's actually pre-calculus. It's pre-calculus. We interact with differentiation at the age of 15. 15. That's when we learn the dy, dx, and whatever.
And that's exactly what my son is learning right now, because my son is 15 and he's in secondary 3, which is your middle school, the senior high, going to prepare yourself for the senior, where like what Jeremy said, at junior colleges, then you will have to take F maths. It's not failure maths, it's further maths.
It is for me, failure maths.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get a nightmare tonight, thanks to you guys.
So the stereotype in America is not wrong. Asians are good at math. Just
Except
not
me.
the ones that grew up in the US.
No, just not Kevin Kwok.
we got influenced by MySpace.
Since we're on this topic, just an interesting side topic. Is it true that it's very difficult to fail in the American school system, regardless of what you do in the exams? Is it true, or is it just a stereotype?
I do think they give you quite a bit of grace compared to probably other school systems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, people are very, hey, let's work together. Like, I feel teachers in the U.S. compared to, you know, my relatives in Asia, I feel they really, like, example, and even in Hong Kong, right? My cousin in Hong Kong, they pay a lot for tutoring. America, there's free tutoring. Most schools have you know, if you're struggling, there's counselors, there's math tutors, and it's free. You know, it doesn't cost anything. Even in college, right? You just have to take the time to go. So it's available for you to succeed, right? It's your choice to take advantage of it, you know, the resources or not. But in Asia, you have to pay extra. You know, no one cares if you don't want to study, that's your problem. There's no like, you know, if you don't pay, you don't get help. You know,
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah.
that makes it a lot easier. So, yep.
Yep.
But in America, I think we focus a little more on sports. So we spend a lot of time playing sports and, you know, and different things.
Because sports pays in America.
Yes,
That's true.
But not
Very
in
well.
Singapore. Not in Singapore.
Yeah, not in Singapore. That's why Singapore is also known as a tuition nation.
Yes.
It's a huge industry, tuition nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the way we are being brought up, the way we are being molded, that academic come first. So that has been set traditionally in many parents, and I'm guilty of one as well. I mean, sad to say, but I'm also encouraging my kids to actually to go outdoor. You know, but you know, nowadays kids are so intrigued with their phone, the mobile phone, so they will just start gaming. You know, I can tell you from Mobile Legends, all sort of games they were playing, and even my daughter, she's very into TikTok as well.
Not just kids, not just kids.
Jeremy as well, Jeremy.
So since we're on this subject, I have a question for you. So how has mobile and social media impacted kids in Asia?
Wow.
In the East, regards to school and academics? I just want to hear like in the East, because I know how it has impacted the US, but I really want to hear. Yeah.
I think we're all familiar with the term I-parenting, right? As in Apple, iPhone, whatever, I-parenting. So I was in China, that was very evident. So the kids really as small as, you know, babies, toddlers, so that the parents get a quiet meal, they will just be mesmerized by the devices. Okay, I'm kind of guilty of that as well. But for me and my kids, really, we only pass them the device when they are on like a transport, just to keep their mind off. Food, when it's meal times, we try not to let them have that. So I think the impact is just huge, right? Everyone's on the devices at a very young age for kids, and that goes probably like, you know, at least 8-9 years back. I don't know when iPhone was introduced, but yeah, quite around that time, this whole I-parenting concept started to take shape and take place in the East, especially. I feel. Yeah. What's your take on that, Jacqueline? You probably have witnessed a lot of this.
Oh yes, you see, the thing is, I have 2 kids, and of 2 different gender. So definitely there will be a great contrast, right, in terms of the interest. My daughter is more of the creative sort, the dance, the arts. My son is more the sports type. So, like I said, you know, now the mobile phone, the e-devices has been part of their life, and so much so that I felt that it has some implications. So I make it a rule that during dinner time or meal time, no phones are allowed on the table. I think that is actually the respect for everyone, so that we can have a decent conversation. So you know, every Tuesday I share this topic called home-based learning on LinkedIn. Now, the home-based learning, these are the actual conversations that have taken place within the meals with, myself and my kids. So I will ask them how's the school and things like that. So we'll talk about everything and anything. And I think it's important to engage kids in the conversation, because otherwise they will be very ignorant. Not that they are stupid, but they are so well versed. They are better than us. My daughters are even better than me in using PowerPoint. You know, so, yes. And because school, they have it in school, you know, and the animations and things like that. But that is actually more the technical skill. So I think it's also important as parents, we need to guide them, we need to engage them, and we need to educate them in the proper use of the devices to understand the do's and do not, and at least the basic respect of, you know, people. or when you're having a conversation, engage with them and look into their eyes. You want the same respect from others. So I always tell to my kids, people staying in glass house should not throw stones at each other. So you don't want to do things to others. Likewise, you also don't want others to do to you, right? So just don't do it. Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, that's for me. Yeah. But well, I'm very, very, I'm just very happy to talk to you four guys. It's so funny.
Funny.
Yeah. So funny. You know why? You know why?
Last night.
Yeah.
Structured and messy, so don't worry.
Yeah, so okay, just to share a bit of insights. Today is the 1st of October. Since I'm on the show, just give you guys some insight. What's the one?
She can tell.
Ooh.
She's a fortune teller for us because it's not the first yet. For us, for me and Tim.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm just sharing that.
No, I'm to make a joke because
I know,
for us it's not the first yet, so you can predict the future.
No. I just want to share that today is actually a good day. Right now, it's a good day to start if you are planning something for yourself for the last quarter of this year, meaning from October to December. So take advantage of the last quarter of this year, starting with the mind of the first, a new beginning. One always has the meaning of a new beginning. Now, back to the point that like you said, Kevin, in America, a lot of you are very involved in sports. Why? Because in the Olympic game, there can only be one gold medalist. So everybody is actually aiming for that. So that actually is a very driven mindset. And being a one, that means that you exhibit leadership, you exhibit the pioneer spirit in you, or the entrepreneur spirit in you, in wanting to achieve things, in wanting to get things done. That's the meaning of it.
That's
awesome.
Good to know.
Something that I would like to share with you.
So what's number 2020?
2020? That is 4, right? Well, you know that this is actually it's a year of hard work, honestly speaking. Really, it's a lot of many of us are struggling. Yes, Eldrick knows lah. I shared with him many things.
I love
Well, let's maybe we can go forward. Let's take a look, a general outlook of 2021. I'm prepared to share with everyone for today's show. Now, 2021.
Awesome.
Yeah, 2021 is actually a universal year 5. And let me be very clear with everyone. Universal year 5 means it impacts everyone, including you and me. The day the clock strikes 12 past midnight after 31st December, right? The moment we hit into the 1st of January, that is the beginning of 2021. Now, the year 5 itself, to me, I love that number. But to many numerologists, or so-called those who claim that they are in Singapore, they claim that 5 is a very bad number. But I always ask people, so what is bad to you? How do you define bad, or what is good? So I always tell my participants, especially the workshops that I conduct, I always make it known to my participants that there is no such thing as the worst or the best number. It depends on whether you are a good or bad user in interpreting the meaning and the understanding of the numbers behind in terms of what you do and what you use it for. Now, 5 itself means change, and it is actually about adventurous. This is about freedom. So going forward for next year, we will see a lot of changes, especially the US election that's coming. To be honest with you, I just hope that Trump do not win.
Well, I'm looking forward to change after 2020, so that would be a good thing.
Yeah, because
Change in the bank account, less money.
No, not that.
Yeah.
Slow down, Kev. It's not even funny, Kev.
We're all laughing.
Go ahead, Jacqueline. Share the wisdom. Come on, the prediction.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not prediction.
No prediction.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Not prediction. I never like to use. I mean, that's me. All right. I never like to use the word prediction. All right, because it really put me in the position of a fortune teller, which I'm not. But I like to use the word forecast. Forecast. Okay, let's do a forecast. Okay. So to go forward, I have to let my audiences know, okay, you really need to bite the bullet for the next 6 to 8 months. So things will probably be better only from next May onwards. Perhaps it's springtime in the US, all right? Meaning from May to June onwards, then you see a change, events taking new ownership of what needs to be done. And but to really see the change, perhaps until the third quarter of next year in September. I can tell you that this probably will take another 1 year or so. But you can start seeing the sign of changes going forward from May next year. So from now, many governments in the world are still trying to stabilize the situation and trying to improve the current situations to make do with what we have right now. Yeah. So there are a few tips that I can share with you. First things, this is going to affect every one of us. So the focus and the discipline. All right, you need to practice that and be more mindful. For example, if you have been very scattered, so it's time that you need to tell yourself, hey, I need to sit down, come up with a plan on what I need to do. So the key words for next year will be changes, freedom, discipline, and stay focused. That's what I would like to share with everyone. And and the thing is that be flexible in terms of the plans that you want to make. All right, to go forward, because sometimes we will have to make sure that we are agile enough. Agile, flexibles are big words. So what is agile to you? Meaning that, for example, if you just want to make sure that you want to set your mind in getting perhaps a project going, focus on that and be flexible to change. That's what I'm trying to say. It's more about yourself, what you can do for yourself to go forward. There are so many things that you encounter every day. But forget about all the distractions. So 5 is also a number. Since it's about a freedom number, that means that there will be a lot of distraction that will bound to affect you. But at the end of the day, is what you want to stay focused with. Because if you can do that, right, many things will actually happen and will be on the positive side for you. This is something. Yes. And one more thing, okay, because we have been so stressed this year, so I will encourage for those of you, especially in the US, I think domestic tourism will be good. Because unlike Singapore, we are too small, we are just an island country. But in the US, if time permits and if you have the budget, go on a holiday. It can be a domestic tourism, meaning that you are in Kansas City, you can fly to New York or you can fly to California for a holiday. Just do it. All right. Why? Because by going for the holiday, you will recharge and rejuvenate, and then that comes renewal. And recharge.
If Jennifer's listening, she'll enjoy what you just said.
I'm very sure she's nodding her head now.
My holidays to the couch.
Yeah. And one more thing, because whatever changes that comes, right? See, change and crisis both starts with C. So I also want to share with you, look out for the opportunity that comes with it. There will be. It's just that how would you manage it and would you actually embark on it? So these are the two things that you need to take note of. Okay, I have shared that. So to go forward, as an advice for everyone, is that meanwhile, take up a skills to upgrade yourself, because we are still at the last quarter of 2020. Take out a skills. You never know that skills might be helpful for you when January comes, that the switch to 2021, and that skills could actually serve as an opportunity for you.
That's great advice.
Good. Great insight.
And this is something for you. Okay, and I like to share with everyone. I'm sure all of you know about the SWOT analysis, SWOT, the SWOT analysis, right? Yes. You see, the thing is that numbers itself, right? Every numbers have their strength and therefore they have their weaknesses too. It's the same thing. Every number also have their positivity side and therefore they have their negative side. Now, how do you apply that in the SWOT analysis? Very simple. SWOT analysis, as we know, we have 4 quadrants. So understanding your strength, that is actually the S, right? And then you put that into the O, which is opportunity. So they both match. But at the same time, understand what is your weaknesses, all right? And then match that with your threats, so that this is the zone that you'll be mindful and you will not want to go in, so that you will not get yourself into the unnecessary trouble. Meanwhile, do a contrast, do a comparison, a compare and contrast, understanding where your strength is to match with the opportunity and to eliminate your weaknesses, therefore you reduce your threat. and I hope that helps
Oh.
everyone.
Never saw it that way. The
Yes, you
crisscross part.
see, exactly.
Never.
You see, the thing is that numerology has been mistaken as a mystical, as a superstitious, as a fortune-telling tools. But many people do not see beyond that. All right. So what I do is that I actually package it in such a way that in my workshop, I actually engage my audiences, or rather my participants, to understand. And when you understand the meaning and the logic behind, then that is where you apply that into the management style, which is actually using that SWOT analysis. And from there, from the SWOT analysis, you branch it off, which is actually to the fishbone. I think Eldrick can help it, since the project management
Fishbone.
tools. The
Yeah,
fishbone kind
fishbone.
of, yeah. So that's where you matches your strength and the opportunity to point out what are the strength and the opportunity, and that you can do a matching better, and give you a concrete and big picture in terms of your plan and the project or the skill of the project that you want to go for. Hope that helps everyone.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Good
Whoa.
stuff.
You guys didn't know, right? You keep thinking that I'm only a fortune teller, right?
I have no idea any of it.
No, we didn't think that. I've
No, but
read
a lot
enough
of-
of your stuff.
But you see, the thing is that, on LinkedIn, the funny thing is that a lot of people connect with me. Okay, I don't mean to offend anyone, but a lot of people connect with me. That's because they think that I'm a fortune teller, but I'm not. I'm just going to bring out that strength in you to tell you what you need to do for yourself in order to go forward, to be the better part of yourself.
Awesome. Yeah.
Good.
So
I think I'll just insert one comment here on the
Sure.
whether it's
Eldrick.
numerology or other bodies of knowledge. I think whether we apply it or not, whether we believe it or not, that's just one aspect.
Yes.
But behind it is there are multiple bodies of knowledge that we can learn from. I'll take a parallel example like astrology. There's actually a depth of knowledge behind what we read as zodiacs. There's a lot to it,
Yeah.
but for some reason we are so attracted to that one paragraph description of, this is a Virgo, this is an Aries, but the Aries sitting on your left can be very different from the Aries sitting on your right. There's a lot more depth to that body of knowledge, which I think for us we don't spend the time to actually appreciate it enough. Just tying back to calculus in itself is a language to compute undulating surfaces. That's it. But we don't understand, right? All we want to do is to survive the maths class just tell me what's the formula, just tell me what's the question, I'll give you the answer, and just get away. Don't bother me. But there's a lot of story behind it. It's undulating surfaces. It's about a measurement of movement against time. But who really understands? You can be the perfect mathematics student, not understanding what mathematics is about. So I think at where we are today, where knowledge is important, exposure is important, it's good to be open. Like, okay, so what's numerology? What's it about? How can we apply it? Even if we don't, it could be a very good story. It could be a very, very good story about human development, right? Because we came so far to develop this branch of knowledge. That's my take. It's just my take.
Very good point that Eldrick has summarized it in a very well-defined definition. I think that is good, because I always believe that in all tools and methods, in all modalities, the intent is always good behind, and the message is always good to keep you aware of who you are, so that you can make the right and sound decision for yourself. It's just that many has mistaken that as a fortune telling tool, unfortunately.
Yep. So this leads to my second question, right? How does numbers influence your business decisions?
Good question. So is it for me or for everyone?
Everyone. So
For everyone.
You can start,
I'll start. It's quite simple for me, really, because I'm in marketing. The only thankfully, the only interaction I have with numbers is like budgets, how much I have for this year to spend. So the only influence is really when I look at a vendor, I need to purchase something, or source for a place for event, all that. It just boils down to budget management for the entire year, how much you have, how much can you spend, so thankfully it's just plus and minuses, nothing to do with integration and differentiation. So that's just simple for me in terms of number influence in business. Of course, I get in tune with how the business is, the entire business is going, right? Whether it's a good year or a bad year, are we doing well as opposed to the target? Because that affects like the bonus, year-end bonus and all that, whether I'll still be in the job. So that is still important. But more importantly, I need to see how my marketing function supports that, and I need to keep costs down so that, but at the same time, help propel the business by spending effectively. So yeah, that's how numbers affect me in my workspace. Yeah.
That's good. Tim, you want to go next?
Yeah. In my line of work, obviously, is when people pay for your services, that obviously has a direct impact, right? So for me, I think it's just a matter of, does it make sense? So when I look at a number and, when I offer a number to somebody, it's a two-way agreement that it makes sense for both parties, that the service amount meets the service that they require, and vice versa, that the amount on my side meets my standards. So, I think that's the simplest way I can explain it without getting too complicated is, numbers basically, as long as it makes sense for all parties and the numbers line up, then we're all good to go. That's how numbers affect me.
That's good.
Yeah. For me, numbers is a matter of pulse check, pulse check. So it is not what I look for right at the very beginning, but I see it as a result of what I've done or what my team has done or what some of the businesses have done. So I have this mindset that the pursuit of numbers should not be the objective behind every mission and policy at the corporate level. Because the moment we start pursuing KPIs, we are going to do it
That's
wrong.
good.
We are going to do it wrong. Always wrong.
Yep.
So I just use that as a fact check, probably month on month, quarter on quarter, and then that's it. Oh, of course, I also check the performance of my bank account, my investment portfolio, the kind of things that Tim is interested in. He has millions and millions of dollars in his bank account, and I don't. I use that just to see that I'm on the right track. Does it really influence my business decision? Not really. And I have a reason for saying this. Your business can do very well, and your numbers can show it because you have become more efficient. But that doesn't mean that you are not becoming irrelevant. What's the point of being good at a business where the entire industry is a sunset industry? I don't understand that. So I think I try to avoid going into that space where, the numbers are good, the company is doing well, but I like to just look up and say, is this the right space to be in? Is this the right industry to be in? Is the trend to our favor? So it's a mixed bag. The numbers cannot be the first pursuit. I don't think so.
That's good.
Jacqueline?
Jacqueline?
How I use numbers in the business context is that number one, I will look at who are the people that I'm going to go into the partnership with, right? So maybe it's just me, because I always check whether I'm compatible with the person that I'm going to work with. That's very important. So by doing that is by looking at their numbers. So then I will do an evaluation of myself and versus them, and first and foremost, whether there's any a good outcome or synergize, or rather the synergy that we can actually click. Number two, how I use number is that I would actually also apply it in like what Eldrick is saying, the profit and loss, and take a look and just do a quarterly check. I think this is important because numbers also tell the health of the organization that you want to go to, or rather that you are going to invest in. So, and that was also important for me. I mean, of course, that would be the facts and data reading, apart from the human factor, like I said earlier part, where I will actually take and I'll study and I'll look at it. And I will also, of course, there are people who consult me in terms of business decision for them, where they would want to make sure that they have a good name for their business. So they will actually ask me to check for them and whether or not they can go into the certain partnership or business dealing with certain people. And that's where they consult me for doing a proper analysis for the whole picture. Yeah, that's what I do on my part in terms of the business perspective for my work in terms of numeric profiling.
That's good. Well, I
Kevin?
guess for me, digital marketing a lot of times is about numbers because, you know, a lot of people don't know behind the scenes when you're an agency and you have clients, you know, especially organizations, right? All they care about is numbers. So, and the funny thing is, people don't understand when you're buying media, especially when you're running ads on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, or whatever channel, right? All these companies care about is numbers. So it's all impressions, you know, the number of conversions, you know. So it's a lot like the stock market. We have to learn how to pull an ad out when it's not performing, put an ad in. But the reality is I'm seeing a change in the entire industry, you know, and the old way of doing things, which a lot of people are still stuck in the old way. Social media was never designed to just be I mean, it's designed to be an advertising, you know, vehicle, you know, a marketing vehicle. But at the heart of the core of the software, it was designed for relationships. But it grew so big where all these relationships started utilizing it, users, right? And what happened, the algorithms have taken a life of its own, you know, and now we have data, but now we have shareholders, you know, for Facebook, shareholders for TikTok, shareholders for LinkedIn, and, you know, and they're looking for numbers. And so in order for people like you and I to win on these platforms, you have to focus on value. And I think a lot of small businesses and mid-sized businesses, they try to play like they're corporate players. And you aren't corporate players. You don't have the budget to play with those boys, you know. Then how do you play? And so you have to understand, you play by doing what we're doing. You build community, you build relationships, you engage with people. So too many people focus on numbers. They're focusing on conversions. They're focusing on my number of followers. You know, I don't even look at my followers. I have no idea how many people I have actually today. You know, it might have not grown for a while. I have no idea. You know, but that's not my focus, because I found that, hey, if I can bring value, then people want to build relationship with me. And one relationship's going to lead into other things, right? It's no difference than the old-fashioned way of doing business, you know. The good businessman, they're building different relationships, right? And what happened is, like Tim would understand, car sales guys that have a book of referrals, a book of business, because you built these relationships. And the guy with the most relationships on these social channel, they're more likely to win. And they might not win because they'll generate more business. They win in life because if they lose their job, most likely they know a friend that'll hire them. You know, there's a lot of ways to win. It's not always just winning, you know, in the business world. Hey, if I have more connections, hey, right now I can move to Singapore and I have Eldrick and Jacqueline and Jeremy to help me find a place, introduce me to the area, you know. But that wouldn't happen if I never put myself out there. So I think, you know, in the world of social media, it's the opposite, right? Don't focus so much on numbers and focus on what value are you bringing, you know, to your audience. And that's important. And I think it's the same with Jacqueline, you know. You're able to bring value in your business, you know. and your heart is there to help people, and that's why people want to go to your webinars. They want to, take the lessons. And it's like you said, it's not fortune telling. It's more, hey, she provide a method to be able to see, how these numbers, align, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a value. Not everyone can do that. I had no idea, so I learned something new. I'm being educated, and I think everyone has something to offer on LinkedIn and social media. And you just got to put yourself out there and offer it. The worst thing you can do is to offer something you don't really know about, and you're just talking,
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I apply numbers every day. I social media wise, I don't look at it. From work wise, I have to, so I have to deal with numbers. But otherwise, I just check my bank account and make sure I have enough to pay my bills. And I'm investing for the future. Actually, Jennifer does that for me, so I don't even know.
You mean? Do you mean future like vacations? I think that's evident in the comment that I'm reading.
But just off what you said, Kevin, right? I'm probably representing like the corporate side, corporate side of things. And you're right, we look at numbers quite a fair bit, because I think one major difference for social media as a vehicle for marketing is really down to the numbers, because for once it's very measurable, and numbers don't lie, right? Numbers don't lie. The number of clicks, the number of conversion, all those don't lie. Whereas in the past, it's quite hard to do the attribution, right? TV ads, we got X% sale increase because we ran this ad, but how sure are you that it is 100% because of this ad? But with digital, everything is so measurable, and the numbers they speak for themselves. And really, yes, that's what we do on the corporate side. We look at the numbers. But you are also right in the sense that if you're a SME, small medium-sized enterprise, those numbers, you can't play with the corporate guys, right? We have business analysts just looking at marketing numbers, the ROI for a certain campaign. As an SME, are you going to hire a data analyst to look at all that? You probably can't. It's going to take out a huge part of your marketing budget if you do have something like that. So, which is why I think what you say is quite true. As SME, you're going to play the other way. Really, it's relationships and going down really on a micro level. And that's where Jacqueline comes in, right? Down to people, profiling people versus their bosses or their colleagues and all that. And maybe that's where you succeed, because you do the steps to mitigate relationships, to mitigate risks. I think that's where it's quite important, where numbers play a part in the type of business you're in, the size of the business.
That's good.
That's very good analogy. I really like that. You put it in a very well-defined form. And I like that statement that you made. Numbers don't lie. It's exactly what I'm trying to say. Numbers don't lie, because you are who you are. That's your made up. You can't escape from that. And every number has a meaning behind that interprets who you are.
So
just like
on that point, Tim, do you believe that numbers don't lie when you're looking at your investments?
You know what? It's funny.
You will question, right?
No, actually, you know what? No, I've stayed quiet on this. I have to say numbers do lie. Because, no. Realistically, right? Social media is a key contributor of numbers lying, right? Because people manipulate social media all the time now.
Oh, you're talking about click farms, right?
I mean,
buying followers and stuff like that.
Farms, fake followers. Like, there's all sorts of things you can do on social media to manipulate numbers. So
that's fair.
I think realistically, the statement numbers don't lie. I think there's the truth to it, but then also the way the world has evolved, they do kind of now, because unfortunately people manipulate things to look the way that they want you to see them, and a lot of it's not true. Some of the people who have 30,000 followers, they don't have 30,000 followers. They created a whole bunch of fake email accounts to create, followers, and it's just nonsense. And to your point, Jeremy, they have bots to create
Bots,
likes.
yeah.
So as soon
Yeah.
as somebody posts something, they have bots to give them 200 likes within seconds. And now all of a sudden,
Yeah.
the post looks like it's really jumping off, but it's not. So I think it's important to take this phrase "numbers don't lie" in context. When you're looking at statistics and things like that, it depends on the industry and what you're looking at. Like
Very
Kevin
true.
was saying, engagements, click-through rate, things like that, right? That's measured by, let's say, a standard of Google. Okay, that doesn't lie, right? Those are real statistics. But when you're looking on social media and you're looking at somebody's following count, and they have 70 followers, but they have 300 likes within seconds, something doesn't add up. Stuff like that. So
and you also have to look at the accuracy, like even with social media, like there's times, and we look at them all the time, analytics, it changes. Like the algorithm change and all of a sudden the impressions change, the numbers change, and sometimes the numbers don't even make sense, like LinkedIn measures something. They create their own formulas. They same with Facebook and all these social platforms. I call them the social media gods, right? They decide, okay, on this day, this is your view count. But how do you know, like, if it's truly your view count?
Yeah.
How are they deciding? How's the algorithm? Because it could have changed. And if they decide, hey, today our tech team's gonna change it a little, all of a sudden, videos, we aren't getting as much views, And we're all seeing it on these platforms, Okay, long form content was performing. Now video's performing. And then, and then who knows what next week is, right? So, I mean, if you focus so much on just the analytics, it can really hurt you in a way, because I think nothing beats social media wise, just consistency, right? Being able to produce content when it comes to social media. Yep.
And I just want to add a point on what Jeremy just mentioned, that numbers don't lie. Yes, but question and verify. Yes, question and verify, because everyone knows that everyone else attention are on the numbers, and therefore they will do something to ensure that they get your attention. I don't want to say countries or governments, but policymakers understand that the two biggest markets that people always have their eyes on, one is the stock market, one is the real estate market. So whatever statistics that come out of those two markets, good numbers, but question and verify. That's how I see it. Even social media, I have the same perspective, right? Viewership. I mean, like, okay, that's nice. Followership, okay, that's nice, but accept it, but question and verify. I think that's important, because you never know, like what Tim said, you never know what's the thing that people want you to see. And we believe very readily, too readily, in fact. That's just my point.
Yeah, no, I agree. And no, to your point about the stock market, not to get too deep in the weeds here, but like if you just look at the Dow may be up 400 points. Yet every stock that you're thinking about investing in is down, right? So how does that make sense? But yet here we are. So you're 100% right, Aldrich. Take it for what it is, but question and verify. I agree.
That's good. So while we have you here, Jacqueline, so what is the number for 2021?
I thought I just said about 5.
5.
Yeah.
So it's the number 5. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it adds up 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5.
Yes. So that's why the 5 for next year, going forward to next year, do expect a lot more changes than what we are experiencing this year. All right. So it's not just about you as a personal basis, but it's also about the country, the world, and the government. And be prepared that there will be a lot of changes in terms of the renewal of leadership. There will be some changes in terms of leaderships taking place.
I mean, honestly, I think we're all ready to welcome change because it is so bad now. The only way that it can change is up.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, I think
It's
that's
good
still
news.
a long way to go to crash. That's still a long way. That's still a long
No,
way.
we have 3 months. 3 months to crash it, and then by May next year, it's also 5th month.
Yeah.
My birthday month. Everything's gonna be all right, man.
Yeah. You see, the thing is that I look at the numbers, the overall numbers. So the forecast for myself and for those audiences listening in, it will be likely to take place from May, if not June onwards.
Yeah, and I still plan to see my favorite band, Mayday, in concert. They were supposed to perform in August. It's going to be postponed next year, so I still got my tickets. Yeah, just looking forward to
I see.
watching them. Yeah.
Is that right? 5月天 Mayday.
5月天, yes, Mayday. The only band or other music that me and my wife can agree on.
That's good. That's very good.
So Jacqueline, I know you have a workshop coming up.
Yes,
right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Tell our audience out here about your workshop and
Yeah, I'm planning one that's end of October, over the weekend. It's about it's a 2 days workshop. Now, what differentiates me with the rest is that there's one very important component that I cover that is called the name numerology. That part itself, not many people can interpret it correctly. Why? Because even if I do not know your numbers, you don't have to tell me your date of birth. All right, for example, by you telling me your name, for example, you're Kevin, you're Jeremy, you're Eldrick, I can read you like this as well.
Can you just pick one of us and read us real quick?
Okay.
I know you're gonna do that. I know you're gonna do that. Okay. Why don't I take you, Kevin? Since I already know Eldrick, and I know Jeremy. Yeah. Why don't I just take you? You see, the thing is that you're the host of the show, okay?
You don't want to read Tim? The American guy. No.
Honest looking guy.
Okay, the honest looking guy. Tim, is that okay if I read you?
Go for it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll just take Tim. Is that your first name? Tim, right? Timothy. As a T.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will just give you a very quick analysis because T stands for 2 in terms of numerology, in terms of the alphabet arrangement, that the number attached to it. Now, if I would just talk to you over the phone with me knowing that your name is Timothy Tim, then I can tell you I will have to be very careful in what I say to you because that also gives me insights that you are someone who are very mindful and sensitive, because you are actually a very emotional guy and an introvert as well. Because you actually think before you speak. You are more of a thinking, feeling person, not that kind of aggressive. So you don't take the kind of instructional comments very well. In fact, it kind of puts you off. You get very irritated and you kind of get repelled. You rather someone that comes to you and show you what is going on and be sincere in explaining to you step by steps, and you will appreciate that better. And that's you.
That's good. That's pretty accurate. Definitely the introvert thing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same things. Yeah, you see that's the difference. That's the power of the name. It's not about just name reading. It's about the understanding the soul, the persona behind that name. See, all of us has a name. That's why I'm called Jacqueline, you're called Kevin. So that's our identity. So our identity speaks about ourselves and give insights about who we are and what we do and the kind of persona or the personality that we want to project to the outside world. Of course, there's also who we are internally and is only made known to ourselves and how we see ourselves. So that's very that makes people aware who they are. But being said that, Tim, you got to watch your emotions because you are a highly sensitive new age guy. Yeah? So therefore, certain things can upset you very easily. And perhaps certain comments might just affect you and you get upset. But then because you are also a very happy-go-lucky guy, so you can actually take it lightly. So relationships are very important to you. People are very important to you. Connections are very important to you. And the way you reach out is through music. Now, 2 itself, because T is a 2. 2 is actually very good with things that in the creative form. For example, the creative arts. That's why you're good in music. And that's why DJing is part of your core. Okay, the two here, creative arts, meaning can be anything from music to dance to drawing to communication skills. Just like J29, 29 itself, you add up is a master number 11 that turns to 2. That's why you're in the digital marketing space. It's all about communication and reaching out to people. It's about the messaging behind.
It's interesting. It's very
Interesting.
I mean, the creative stuff does definitely appeal to me. So
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, that's why anything that is in terms of the art piece or anything that is of a mode or an object that is free expressions, normally you will appreciate that better in that space.
I do. That's true. That's very true.
Right? Yeah. So people like you in your downtime, in your personal space, you don't mind to take a walk or take a road trip or all that just to let go. In fact, you'll be surprised that you just walk into a museum and then you will enjoy whatever that's being exhibited there.
Yeah, true stuff. True statements.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
We gotta get you a crystal ball,
actually,
Jacqueline.
this segment, Jeremy was the one that was most interested over email exchange.
I know that.
Get Jacqueline to read us. Yeah.
Yeah, we changed a little. How about this, Jeremy? You just pick a number that's in your head now. Just pick one and let Jacqueline interpret it for you. Just pick a number.
Does it work that way, Jacqueline? I don't think it worked that way, right?
I don't know. You try and see if I can read you. No promise. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me.
I'm hard to read, man. But I'll stick with the number 5 because it's supposed to be my lucky number from long time ago when I used to buy those astrological scrolls and that kind of thing. So
and you know
I'll take the number 5. Yeah.
Sure. That was exactly the number that I had in my mind. 5. When you just say it out. Yeah. Why? Very simple. Because if I read you, Jeremy, your first name is Jeremy J. Besides the J, the next word is E. Now E is actually a 5.
A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, I have 3 E's.
Yes. So can I just share the first E? I'll just do a E for you. All right, Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you. Okay, you are very, very creative in the sense that you do not like to be stagnant. That's why traveling is part of you, and you need to be out. Okay. That's also the reason why it takes you out of Singapore context to be based in China for a few years, right? Am I right to say that? Yeah. Because and it allows you to explore the world, and that's where your knowledge and your exposure grow. Because if you were to do that in Singapore, right, those time that you spend in China, right, will do you much better than you are in Singapore. That's why you make the decision to go. And being an E is also a personal choice that you want to make because you wanted to experience life and you have that adventurous streak in you that you want to know what is out of me if I step out of my comfort zone. So that is also the risk that you're willing to take. That's the decision to go to China.
Well, actually, that's pretty accurate because prior to China, I was doing internship in Polytechnic. I spent 3 months in Phuket, Thailand. So yeah, I guess this is bad for me now, right? I'm stuck in Singapore, nowhere to go.
Well, let me put it this way. Travel is in you and travel is in the blood. You can still base in Singapore, but you can just get yourself to do regional work. You see, that is where yes, you are. And in fact, by doing that, right, that gives you the hands-on experience that you need to be in touch with people that's overseas in terms of the line of the work that you're doing. Because you see, we are more than one number. Our made-up is more than one number. That's the reason why human beings are so complicated and we are the unique individual. Let me put it very bluntly to all of you. Even twins have their differences too. So whenever I throw these questions to my class, to my workshop, to my participants, I always ask them these questions. What is the difference between the pair of twins? Apart from that, they are born on the same day, same month, same year. Perhaps in Chinese, in people they believe that there's a few minutes of differences. So perhaps 5-10 minutes of differences. Now the main difference between the twins that differentiates them is their name. Okay, that is why I can call myself Jacqueline, and my twin sister can call herself Jeanette. So Janelle.
So you have a twin?
No, I don't. My younger sister.
Okay, I thought you had a twin. There's another Jacqueline.
No. I'm just
It's
giving an example.
Kevin.
Okay.
Oh,
She got me too. I was like, oh, for real?
Tim, I know you got another brother, Tim, right? The other Tim. Yeah, but I'm just sharing with you. You see, that's differentiates. And I've seen so many. So all these are the examples that I will cite in my class, in my workshop. In fact, I'm planning for 2. One is actually the main full workshop, the 2 full days. Of course, that would the takeaway is that on top of that, I have actually created the profile sheet, which all my participants will get, because that profile sheet is a good practice. Not only is a good practice for yourself for you to do the reading sessions for everyone, but it's also, it serves as a reminder of what you need to do in order to read other people. Now, that means that it is actually very good for anybody who's in the HR human resource, because you can also take that profile sheet to read the numbers of the person that you're going to hire, as well as for employee engagement, and how do you actually come up with activities, how do you engage different people for that. So if you are looking at any of the team building activity, Jeremy, perhaps we can talk.
I actually am.
Really?
And I have some ideas. Yeah, I have some ideas yesterday to do like a Zoom, because we're gonna have like regional country kickoffs, because it's the start of the financial year. Today is the start of the financial year. So I was actually tasked to think about what kind of team building games you can do online now that we're in Teams, and I actually got some ideas. But yeah, sure, why not? I might seek your consult. So
yeah, and also there are so many things, you see, that we can actually plug and play with in terms of the numbers, right? And just that how do you actually know the person in order to manage and engage? So it's very important. Likewise, for Kevin, you have 2 kids, right? Now you have 2 boys. Your 2 boys are very different in terms of their personality, but if I don't know your boys by just reading their name, or by just looking at their numbers, I can actually safely tell you what kind of characters they are and how do you manage them. So that's also another part of the workshops that I do in terms of parenting, where I will engage parents, in understanding the number and how do they go about managing their kids, so that will actually reduce the stress. So I segmentize different topics for different target audience, so to speak. Yeah. So I'm also planning to do 1 sessions, perhaps in November, December. I've not really put the dates in schedule yet, or in up to January, to give the overall outlook of what is 2021. So if you guys are interested, do let me know.
cool.
That's awesome. So how can people follow you, Jacqueline?
On LinkedIn, and best is on LinkedIn, because that is actually the platform that I go to most often. But of course, being said that, I also have a Facebook, and I have the Facebook page that I put it across as abundance number. So it's just about how do you go about using the numbers, and that will help you, not just in terms of the for the corporate side, not just in terms of hiring, employee engagement, team building, understanding your customer base, in identifying the numbers, so that you can come up with better strategy in terms of your sales management. It can also, for personal use, for example, how do you actually manage your family members, communications with your spouse, communication with your kids. Yeah. So that would actually cut down conflicts.
Yeah. So join us next week. We're going to do episode 30. We're going to talk about happiness, right? Because we all want to be happy. And we just want to thank you again. We have our sponsor, StreamYard, for allowing us to be able to be everywhere, right? So if anyone's looking into streaming live, StreamYard is an awesome platform. And we go share a link below. And hey, next week, be sure to join us. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for staying up late with us, for those of you in the States, and for those of you at work, probably in Asia. Thanks for tuning in. So we appreciate everyone.
Thanks,
Jeremy,
Jacqueline.
Thanks for being here,
Thank you, Jacqueline.
See you. Bye-bye.
Sorry, Audrey, you're saying?
Yeah, Jeremy, are you joining us next week from the military?
Yeah,
camp,
I'm very unhappy that I can't join the happy episode.
You should go live while you're in military camp.
No, I can't. I might be court-martialed for that, because trade secrets and war weapon secrets and all that. So I don't know. I might hop in as a viewer. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. But streaming definitely out of the question. Yeah. So
We're gonna miss you, Jeremy.
thank you for that.
Hey,
I'll be
you
around.
can ask your your marshal to be on the live show.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how-
Say we want to interview him.
Yeah. Are you happy?
No, they're pretty strict. The last time I took some pictures of how our bedrooms is, and I posted something, I was told to take it down. So I was like, oh, okay. By violation, social media is a no-no in the military camp and all that. So yeah, pretty unhappy about it. But I know you guys will be enjoying that episodes. I probably have quite a bit to say about being happy and all that. So yeah, pretty sad that I can't join. So I'll watch the episode for sure.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Later.
Thanks again. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.